again. Okay, when we do some examples shortly, you'll see what I mean. But percents are used all around us, percents. For instance, what is 28% of 90? When you have this kind of word problem, is over of, you can use, or I have it over here actually, you can use this equation. You just want to make sure the percent is written as a decimal. So as a decimal, 28%, right? That's 0.28. Okay, so 0.28 equals is over 90, right? Here they're saying what is 28% of 90. So the of is the 90. The percent is given, although you convert it to a decimal. Is, we don't know what that is. That's what we don't know. So we have to find that. So we have this equation, right? We have this, really, I guess it's a proportion because a decimal you could think of as a fraction. How do you solve this? You cross multiply. That is, let me say it this way. You multiply both sides by 90. Let me write out the work. Over here, what do? We have to multiply both. Let me see if I can draw it by 90. Right? So the 90s here are going to cancel, and you get 90 times 0.28 equals is, which is 25.2. And what is this really telling us? This is telling us that 28% of 90 is 25.2. So if you had, let's say, something in a store you were buying, it was $90. They reduced the price by 28%. The price has decreased by 25.2. That's really what they're saying. Or as another example, what is 45% of 1,250? It's the same idea, right? We have the percent, so we write it as a decimal. We have the of 1,250, it comes after of, that goes in. We don't know what is. That's our unknown. So we have to solve this equation. And really, you just multiply both sides by 1,250. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Press the space bar by mistake. And when you do that, what you're going to get is equals 0.45 times 1,250. And that's 562.5. Okay. Now again, let me get that pen out again. Right from here, let me see if I can draw it in. 1,250. Multiply both sides by that. Bear with me. Good. Right, again, we want to figure out what is. That's our unknown. So we multiply both sides by 1,250. That gets the is all alone. We get is has to equal 0.45 times 1,250. And that turns out to be this product. So 562.5 is 45% of 1,250. You know, so if something was at $1,250 and they tell you that they took off the price has been decreased by 45%, the price went down by $562.50. And finally, what is 200% of 150? Same idea, right? We don't know what the is. 200% as a decimal, you move the decimal 2 spaces to the left, you get 2. So 2 is over 150. Cross multiply, we get is just 2 times 150, which is 300. Okay. What questions do you have so far? If you have any, don't be afraid to ask. I really hope this is making sense. Percents are all around us, so. This. And let me do this. Percents are all around us. You see them in the news. Like I said, you see them at stores. It's on sale, 20% off. With, everything is marked 20% off the original price. And what does that mean? Well, we have percents. This is what the definition of a percent is. They decrease the price by 20%. Or for the vaccine to be effective, it has to be 95% effective. 95%. So I have 100. So what does that mean? Well, if you knew how many people there were taking it, you could determine how many people it's effective on. 95% of those people. All right. Let's keep going then. We got some time left, but let me plug my computer. Don't turn this on. Don't want my computer to die. All right. Let's keep going. It also comes up with taxes, right? You have sales tax or whatever tax usually is a percent. It's given by a percent. I think the tax here, I think it's the sales tax now, I think is about 8%. I could be wrong about that. But, taxes are expressed using percents. So let's suppose the sales tax in some town, I don't know what the town is, but who cares, is 12.1%. So you have to pay tax on something when you buy it, right? The sales tax. And it's 12.1% of the purchase. Now, usually the tax is a part of the whole purchase. So in other words, the purchase price, how much you spend, that's usually your whole. Tax is a part of it. So what I'm really using is this here. This is what I'm using. I just wrote it in like this just to make it easier. Again, percent here has to be written as a decimal. So for instance, let's say we spent $110 on something. We have to pay 12.1% tax on it. Well, what's the tax going to be? Well, we're using this, right? As a decimal, 12.1% is 0.121. And that's the tax over 110. So what do? We cross multiply. Multiply both sides by 110. We get tax is 110 times 0.121. Which is $13.31. So the tax in that case would be $13.31. But what if instead let's say another person bought something that was only $25. Let's say we did that. Well, in that case, what would 12.1% of that be? How much sales tax would that person pay? Same idea. You have 12.1, you write it as a decimal. 12.1%, excuse me, you write it as a decimal. That's going to be your tax over 25. Then you want to figure out what the tax is. It's just like what we did over here. You cross multiply. Well, what you can do is you multiply both sides by 25. Kind of like over here where I multiplied both sides by 90 to get the 90 out of here. Here I multiplied both sides by 1,250, right, to get the denominator away. Here I multiply both sides by 25. Doing so, we get the tax equals this, which is about $3.03. So tax is an example where percents come up. And again, I just wrote this out, but it really just follows from part over whole, because the tax is used, sales tax is tax is part of the whole purchase. Even when you tip someone in a restaurant or whatever, right? Tip is a percent of the purchase or how much you spend. Here's another example. Let's suppose we did a survey or a poll, that is, and 40% we found of all the people in the town said they're going to vote for John Doe. These names I made up. So we know that 40% of the people said they would vote for John Doe. Okay. What does that really mean? Well, how do we interpret that? Well, if there are 1,500 people in the town, right? Then how many people are going to vote for John Doe? Well, 40% of 1,500 people will vote for John Doe. So in this case, we want to know how many people will vote for John Doe. Well, the amount of people, that's part of the town, right? Part of the town, population, I guess, maybe that's better, will vote for John Doe. The whole town is 1,500. So we have part, that's our unknown. The number of people is 1,500 because only part of the town is going to vote for John Doe. 40%, which is 0.4 as a decimal. So we have this equation to solve. Just like before, what do? Cross multiply. You cross multiply by 1,500. Doing so, you're going to get 0.40 times 1,500 is part, which is 600 people. Right, so that's another example where percents come up. This one's actually a little bit different. I mean, we're not going to have time for this one, but let's say we know, again, 40% of the people said they would vote for John Doe, but let's say we found out that 1,500 people are the people who will vote for John Doe. How many people are there in town? So this one's a little bit different because I'm giving you the part, and whole is what we want, whole town. Okay, the calculation is not terrible. I think it's actually in your notes, but what we're going to do next time is we'll pick up from here. So let me just mark that down for myself. So we will pick up from here next time. So I do have office hours today, but we're going to have to